Greetings. For anyone who has seen a video I did 3 weeks ago, I'm still in shoulder surgery recovery. So obviously I'm doing this video before I have the surgery, just so you know. Probably got at least 2-3 more weeks to go before, well, I'm not fully healed, but I'm feeling a lot better at that point, so the doctors say. We'll find out about that later on. Instead, today we're going to talk about the term cancel culture and whether this is a new thing. And you hear this a lot in today's world where someone says something stupid. Yeah, that's my terminology. Someone says something stupid, a lot of people jump on that person, and suddenly that person starts saying, oh my God, sure, I don't get to say anything I want to say. Cancel culture, you're trying to ruin my life. And it's always someone who says something stupid. You know, if someone said, Joe Biden is the greatest president ever, just as a point, because I haven't said that because, you know, the guy just got office. But if someone said that, you're not going to have a whole lot of people coming out of the woodwork saying, you're horrible, I hate you, and whatever, and trashing, and you should be fired, whatever. You're not going to hear that because it's an innocuous statement. It means nothing. There's just nothing about it. However, for a lot of people, the orange guy, who's gone, who no one has heard from in a long time, thank goodness, there were a lot of people who were willing to kill for him. And those people have been castigated to the point where they're going to sit there and say, I didn't do anything wrong. He said to do it. Why should I get blamed for that? Because you were stupid. Your actions were stupid. Your words were stupid. You got what you deserved. And the people who supported you later on, most of them got what they deserved. There's some politicians who still haven't got what they deserve. But then they're saying, well, wait, how come I have to take any heat for this? I didn't do anything. Yeah, some of y'all did. I can't remember the woman's name now. Last name is Green. She was in the House of Representatives. I can't remember her name because as soon as Congress decided to censor her, I blocked. I never see anything about her anymore. I can't even remember her name. I just remember the last name. I can barely remember what she looks like. But a lot of people jumped on her to the point where she lost basically any responsibilities, any possibility of making any kind of changes whatsoever in Congress. In essence, the district that voted her in, nothing. You get nothing because she can't stand up for you. She can go out there and talk about all these crazy theories that she has, but was she canceled? Yeah. But is that something new? No. That's happened throughout history. There's been a lot of folks who have gone beyond the pale of what is right and what is decent, and they got shut down. Let's talk about McCarthy. Let's go back to this guy back in the 50s, early 50s, who basically was calling out everybody as a communist. Everyone was being called a communist. And he really had moved up in the world of politics, and everyone just had a feeling, you know what, this guy's going to run for president, and he's going to win, and he's going to do all this stuff. And then he got canceled. Because he went after the wrong people, and the wrong people stood up to him, and then other people's like, you know, yeah, this guy's a bully, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Bam, gone. Because he deserved it. He was stupid. He wanted power, and he would do almost anything to get it. So there you go. Adlai Stevenson, oh my goodness, there was a guy who was the president, he was the governor of Texas, who basically ran on a racist platform, and he got burnt, he got crushed, and no one ever heard from that guy again because he was racist during a time when things were starting to change a little bit. No one who was an open racist was going to be able to win the presidency in the 60s. It wasn't going to happen. Sure, it happened in the 1920s. Woodrow Wilson was the definite racist, and now look what's happening. There are universities that are removing his name from their ranks and from their books and whatever. I mean, there is a time where your idiocy, your racism, your biases are getting you, quote unquote, canceled. But it's not a new thing. Winston Churchill. There are people who love to quote Winston Churchill, and they put these things up and talk about what kind of great man he is. Winston Churchill was a racist. You should see all the things he said about people in India. because India used to be run by England. He was a racist. And, you know, he still has enough people out there who are supporting him and saying, well, he was a product of his times. No, he went way and above the product of his times. You know, I mean, there you go. I mean, to say that this is a new thing, it is not a new thing. To say that there are more opportunities for more people to quote unquote be canceled, yeah. You know why? Smartphones. Everyone's got a smartphone now. It's funny, and I can't remember which comedian it was who said, you notice how when we got smartphones, suddenly we didn't see any more aliens? Which is true, because now we can film everything we want to. People do it all the time. How can we have so many quote-unquote Karens running about? And then they get canceled. And some of them own their own businesses, and they're not thinking about that at the time when they decide to say some stupid stuff. And then, oh my God, last week, there was an announcer at a high school women's basketball game who went racist on the team because they all kneel, thinking he was off camera, which he wasn't, and then he tried to blame it on being diabetic. Dude, I'm diabetic. I've never had that issue. And then, you know, he came out and said, well, I was type 1 diabetic and I was having an episode. No. You don't get to get away with that. Me personally, I've always said that people who do anything before they're 17 years old online, I give them a break, even if some of the stuff they've done or said is horrible. That excludes if you killed somebody. And we had someone locally, and locally was within 100 miles of here, who basically lured a 3-year-old out into the woods and killed him. And now he's out, by the way. The guy's out. No one even knows. A lot of people have no idea that he's out. If he's out, no one really knows where he is because he served his entire time. He didn't go out on probation. He got out. He's in the wind. These are just the kind of things you have to deal with. Now, I'm not saying you have to basically withhold an opinion. I'm certainly not saying that. Everyone can have their own opinion. But it's how you say it. Stacey Dash is in the news because she's trying to get back into the favor of people because of all the things she said when the orange guy was in the White House. And she joined Fox Spews, that's what I call them, and was just saying all this stuff. And now she's saying, well, yeah, you know, I supported him, but in retrospect, I think I was wrong and whatever, because she's not making any money. She's lost her career. And, you know, admit it, Stacey Dash was attractive, but she hadn't really worked in a long time, and so she found a gig. Was she really racist? I don't know. Well, she wasn't racist, but, you know, was she really as conservative as she said she was? All these kind of things. I don't know. I think that she's a smart woman who figured out a way that she could make money, and she did it. And now she has seen that the tide has turned in a total different direction, and she's trying to get back in. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And another thing about cancel culture. So the guy who played Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy, I know, it's a shame. I should know his name. But the thing is, I never saw The Office. I really didn't know who he was, you know, in the first couple of Guardian of the Galaxy movies. I think, Chris Pratt. That's right. He was also in one of the Jurassic Park movies, I think. Maybe even 2 of them. I don't know. I only saw the first of the new set, and it wasn't great. That's my opinion. Anyway, there's people who say that he should be kicked out of all the Marvel movies because I guess he belongs to some church, even though he says he doesn't, but he belongs to some church that has taken an opinion against gay people and some other kind of stuff. And so they're saying he needs to be canceled because of that he shouldn't be in any more Marvel movies. Let's face the fact here. It ain't gonna happen. They make way too much money. He is very charismatic in the movies, and, you know, there's not enough people who are going to make an opinion to get rid of someone like this. Just not going to happen. And I know some folks are saying, well, wait, you got rid of this Gina Carano, and she's part of the Disney product, just like the Marvel movies are. Ain't on the same plane. You know, if you're going to basically put something out there with the possibility of ruining your career, you need to be bigger than you are. And since I didn't even know who she was, matter of fact, the only reason I know the name is because I saw it earlier today on something. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known who she is. I didn't even know what she looked like until last week because I didn't care. You know, this is not a new thing. It's just that we have social media now. You have 24/7 news, and you know, your stuff is going to be put out there. If you treat someone bad in a store, you're going to be out there. We got Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and you're just not going to get away with being overtly stupid. If you got racist views and you don't care because you got your friends and you've got your community that actually agrees with you, then do your thing. We had a professional basketball player last week who said a Jewish slur that I couldn't even remember, because you know, I read the thing and it said that he's, you know, this thing, he said this Jewish slur began with a K. And I've lived in New York since 1975. I've known a lot of Jewish people, and for the life of me, I could not think of what word he said for probably like 3 or 4 days before it finally hit me. So, oh my goodness, he said that. And I live in New York. I know a lot of Jewish people. I knew the term once it hit me. It's like, oh my goodness. But this guy, born in a community in Virginia, almost no Jewish people around, he knew what it was, even though he said he didn't know what it meant. So, cancel culture. It's always been around. It's just a stronger thing now. But if you're in a certain prominent position, you're going to get away with whatever you want to say. And if you're not, darn, it's tough being you. Kirk Cameron is an example of someone who basically said what he wanted to say, continues saying what he wants to say, and he's got a nice life making Christian movies. Isn't that interesting? It is what it is. Anyway, that's my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think about this cancel culture thing. Has it gone too far, or are people basically getting what they deserve? You let me know. My name is Mitch Mitchell. Hopefully I'll be healed and able to talk about other stuff later on. Y'all take care.